Good morning, everyone. I welcome you on this day 4 of the 1-week FDP on reskilling of faculty as per NEP 2020. I welcome our resource person for the session, Dr. Saurabh Shastri. Welcome, sir. Welcome to IIMT University. I also welcome Dean, School of Life Sciences and Technology, Dr. Navneet Sharma. Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning, madam. Very good on the 4th day of FDP.
I also welcome HOD Botany, Dr. Surbhi Singhal. Madam has also joined. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning to all the participants who are present here.
So this is for a general information to all the participants that today, again, we are going to hold 4 different sessions. And of course, the morning session will be taken up by a very keen and very thorough resource person, Dr. Saurabh Shastri. Sir is Senior Assistant Professor at Department of Computer Science and IT, Kathua Campus, University of Jammu. He is currently working as Head of Computer Science Department at Kathua Campus. Sir is a doctorate in Computer Science from University of Jammu. His research interests include knowledge discovery, machine learning, data mining, deep learning. He has an overall teaching and research experience of 14 years now. Dr. Shastri has published more than 30 research papers in different SCI Scopus journals and has more than 400 Google citations with an H index of 9 and IIT index of 7. Sir has authored several books and book chapters for edited books. He has participated in different conferences, seminars, FDPs, and workshops.
I request all the participants.
Moreover, sir has delivered several guest lectures. So, of course, he's a pro and we are going to take as much benefit from his expertise as we can today. Welcome again, Dr. Saurabh Shastri. I also request Dean, sir, to extend a formal welcome to our speaker for the day. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. So, friends, we are on the 4th day of FDP. और ऐसा फील होता है घर जाते हैं सोने के लिए और सुबह से जो है आके यहीं पर बैठ जाना है सो बट इट इज गुड बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है ऐसा लग रहा है लग ही नहीं रहा है कि हम लोग वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं इट्स लुकिंग दैट वी आर ऑन एक्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म दिस एफडीपी इज गोइंग इन द ऑफलाइन मोड So for today's speaker, the first speaker is Dr. Saurabh Shastri. As Dr. Vatsala told that he is a faculty and scientist of eminence, has done a lot of work in the research as well as teaching as well as academic administration also. So as I promised you that we are trying to get the best resource persons out of the country. So the Dr. Saurabh Shastri is the next person in that category. Dr. Vatsala has told me a number of things about Dr. Saurabh Shastri and the topic is very good. Because we are talking about holistic education, we are talking about curriculum framework, we are talking about activities of NEP, highlights of NEP, transformations in the NEP. So things are moving around NEP, but today, as the theme is reskilling of faculty members, so Dr. Saurabh Shastri will tell you about the IT background that you have to reskill yourself as per the need of today's scenario. So, secondly, in today's lecture, the second and third lecture, we'll have a glimpse of stress management also because nowadays it is becoming a very important challenge for faculty members. So, I again welcome Dr. Saurabh Shastri on this platform and request him to please continue his lecture.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Saurabh, I have shared the PPT sharing rights with you as well. So, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, organizers, for inviting me for this lecture on NEP 2020. Ma'am, I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You're
Yes,
perfectly
sir, you are
audible and
audible.
visible.
Okay, thank you. So, the topic of today's session is adopting technology in the implementation of NEP 2020, a transformational pillar. That is how technology helps us in education. And when we talk about NEP 2020, that is the new education policy of India. So technology is a pillar with which we can do both type of learning, that is the traditional learning as well as the digital learning, that is the online learning. So I will start from the basics of NEP 2020 and then I will shift towards the how technology can be used. So as all of us know that the new education policy, that is NEP 2020, it is the third education policy of India after independence that came after 30 years. The first one came in the 1968 and the second national education policy came in 1986. And now when we are in the year 2023, the scenario of education is totally changed. And after coming this policy, now the parameters, the evaluation parameters have been changed, and now we are focusing on the high order skills like the creativity, like critical thinking, like problem solving, visualization, and idea generation. Now gone were the days when we talk about the academic scores, we talk about the grades. Now instead of those grades, instead of those academic scores, we focus on the new evaluative measures. We focus on the new evaluative or performance measures. And these performance measures are, that is how creative we are, how creative the students are, how the students can solve the problems, and we can say the how students can visualize the things, or we can focus on the generation of ideas. And the government of India also focuses on the youth, that is the youth of the country has to work more and more, so that at one side we have to become the top economy of the world, and for that we have to focus on our education firstly. So in this new policy, as all of us know that now there is a new structure of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 that comprises 12 years of school and 3 years of preschooling, and that has been replaced by the 10 plus 2 old structure. And the other thing which we have to focus here, that is the multidisciplinary learning. Now gone were the days when we talk about that is what stream I have to opt, whether it is science, arts, commerce. Now this is an open thing for all the students, that is we can choose the subjects as per my choice, as per my convenience, as per my interest. And now there is no separation between the vocational as well as the academic streams. So now it is on the lines of universalizing education from the preschool to secondary level. And no doubt the focus is on more inclusive, holistic approach, comprehensive and far-sighted policy to make our country a knowledge hub. And there are many goals of the government, and one goal is in school education particularly, that is the target of 100% gross enrollment ratio, or we can say that is zero school dropouts by 2030. That is every student has the right to go to the school. Every student has the right for the education. So this is the goal for 2030 that comes under the NEP 2020. And the other goal is to make our country a global knowledge superpower. And it is only possible when we change the ways of education, when we focus on the technology, when we focus on the new things, when we focus on the digital infrastructure. This is the only way we can we make our country a global knowledge superpower. And we know that the cabinet has also approved the renaming of the Ministry of Human Resource Development to the Ministry of Education. These are the top 5 highlights of NEP 2020. That is, now there are multiple entry and exit options in degree courses, the discontinuation of MPhil program, single regulator for higher education institutes, low stake board exams, and common entrance exam for the universities. So number of things which we found in this new policy regarding, we have now the multiple entry and exit options. We can go for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 4 years, and we will get the certificate, diploma, degree, or research degree for the undergrad courses. Similarly, now we don't have to focus more on our board examinations, and there is a uniformity, and we have the common entrance tests for the colleges as well as for the universities. So these are the few highlights which all of us know. This is just a screenshot of common university entrance test, that is CUET website for the undergrad courses for the year 2023. Next is the key initiatives of NEP 2020. They are the digital infrastructure. We have to focus on the digital infrastructure. At the same time, the online teaching platforms and tools, content creation, digital repository and dissemination, addressing the digital divide, virtual labs, training for teachers, online assessment and examinations, blended mode of learning. So after COVID-19, before COVID-19, actually, the majority of the teachers in India, they did not know, that is, how to interact through the online platforms, how to interact with others through internet, through the medium of technology. But COVID-19 was a lesson for everyone, especially for the people of those are from the field of education. That is, we learned how to use the technology. We learned how to interact with others with the help of technology. And during COVID time, we organized various programs like FTPs, webinars, through the use of technology, through the digital infrastructure. So these things are possible, that the teachers are interacting with the students through the online mode. Today we are interacting with each other through this Zoom platform. So I think this is also a new thing for us after COVID-19. And at the same time, the government is focusing, that is, to use the digital infrastructure, to use the technology in almost every domain, whether it is education, whether it is agriculture, industry, or anything. This is the content, curriculum, and pedagogy, which everyone knows, that is what was the existing academic structure and what is the new academic structure. In new academic structure, we have 5+3+3+4 structure, where initially we have the fundamental stage of 5 years, that is divided into 3 years for preschooling and 2 years for class 1 and 2. Then we have the preparatory stage, 3 years, that includes play, discovery, and activity-based and interactive classroom learning. After that, there is middle stage, that is the experimental learning in the sciences, mathematics, arts, social sciences, and humanities. And then the 4 years for class 9 to 12, that is a multidisciplinary study. Here we focus on critical thinking, flexibility, and the student choice for the subjects. Apart from that, there is the National Educational Alliance for Technology that comes under NEP 2020. It is a regulatory body, NEAT, that has been set up to integrate the technology for better learning outcomes. So it is again a good initiative that has the aim to use artificial intelligence to personalize learning experience depending on the learner's requirement. If I am a computer science student, I have to learn a language, suppose Python, so I can work on the Python. So this platform provides me the various material regarding to Python, or I can say the various coding material regarding to the language Python. So that is a personalized learning experience So as per my choice, I can choose the subject. As per my choice, I can use the programming code and I will get that material. I can use that material. I can share that material from this regulatory body that is called as National Education Alliance for Technology. The aim is to improve the quality of learning and accessibility to educational resources. We can access, or we can say we can improve the quality of learning. So it is a single online educational platform where we will get the various variety of educational courses as well as the various learning technologies. So this is an initiative of the Ministry of Education, and the implementing agency is AICTE, that provides a platform of learning in upcoming and state-of-the-art technology areas through the online mode. Next is PARAK, that is the Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for the Holistic Development. It's a national assessment center to set up to keep a regular check on the education system. So as I earlier told, that is the goal is to evaluate the higher order skills. Now the performance parameters have been changed, and the new performance parameters which are actually required, they are the creativity, critical thinking, these solving of problems, idea generation and visualization. So shifting from the academic grades to these new skills. Earlier we thought about the academic grades, the academic scores, but now we focus on the new skills, and we have to evaluate these skills. We have to focus on these skills so that the student can think, so that the thinking power of the students can increase. And with this, we can reach, we can compare ourselves with the other countries of the world. Third thing is here, that is the mother tongue as a medium of instruction. So why the government has focused on this thing in NEP 2020, that is sometimes the language is a barrier, and for learning anything, you can learn anything in any language, whether it is your mother tongue, you can talk in any language, or you can learn the complex concepts in any language. And that is not a mandatory thing, but home language or local language that can be used preferably till the grade 8, so that the students can learn, or students can grasp the complex concepts very easily. Similarly, multidisciplinary learning, the focus is on multidisciplinary learning, and there is no separations between the vocational and academic streams. Now students have the open choice for the subjects they want to choose, and under NEP 2020, government also wants to focus on the vocational education training, and that starts from the 6th grade, and it also includes the internships. Even in now in schools, they have IT industrial or IT vocational training. They have to visit some industry, they have to visit higher education institutions, so that they can interact with the faculty members of the higher educational institutions, or they can interact with the experts of the industries to get more and more knowledge regarding the this vocational training. And as per NEP 2020, by 2025, this is again the target, that is 50% of learners, they should have the vocational exposure through the school and higher education. And every child is supposed to learn at least one vocation course and be exposed to several more. So now the focus is on the practical work instead of the theoretical work. And even now the government is allowing even the farmers to come to the higher education institutions like universities and colleges to interact with the students. If a student is from suppose botany, so if he or she knows the theoretical work, and the farmers who actually is working on the practical part, he or she can come to the universities and interact with the students. So these type of initiatives have been taken under NEP 2020. So here school students will have 10 bagless days in a year, during which they are to be exposed to a vocation of their choice. So that is again a good thing. That is, the students have to focus for these 10 days. They have to only focus on some vocational course. So this will be supplemented by experimental vocational learning from grades 6 to 8. And every student will take a fun course during the classes of from 6 to 8. And they have the hands-on experience of vocational crafts. Similarly, government is focusing on these skills. That is, the students have to focus on these skills. They don't have to focus only on the academics, they have to focus on the skills. So for that, skills lab will also be set up and created in the schools in a hub and spoke model. So suppose if there is a school and that has the skill lab, so the schools in the vicinity of that main school, they can come to that school and also utilize the facilities of those skills lab. So that is again a good thing. That is, now the students have to focus more on the skills. And when we talk about these things, so at the same time, there is a requirement of training for the teachers as well. The teachers who are working in schools or colleges, the new education system, that is an evolved blend of the digital and traditional learning system. So here, the training for training for the new things, training for the technology is also very much required for the teachers. One more thing is that is the entry of the top global universities in India. So NEP 2020 opened the way for the world's top universities to establish their international branch campuses in India. So if the world's top 100 universities, they come in India and they open their branch campuses, so again, there are a lot of opportunities for the students to enroll in these universities. And even then, we can share a number of things between the Indian universities and the global universities if this will be possible. So in higher education under NEP 2020, again here is the goal is to increase GER from 26.3% to 50% by 2035. And around 3.5 crore new seats will also be added to higher education institutions. Undergrad education could be of 3 or 4 years with number of entry and exit options. If someone is interested in research, so there is an option now for the 4th year, he can opt the research in his field. Similarly, Higher Education Commission of India will be the only body for the entire higher education and National Research Foundation that will act as a peak body that fosters a strong research culture and builds research capacity covering higher education. Now the government knows that is we have to focus more on this research. We have to focus more on the startups. We have to focus more on the economy as well. Reason being, when we talk about our country, so at the same time, we have to compete with the countries like US, UK, China. So in that case, when we compare our research with other countries, when we compare the patents, the IPRs with other countries, so still we have to work more. So if we have to work more in this field, we have to focus more on the research. Next is UTSA is a portal that has been recently developed that is undertaking transformational strategies and actions in higher education. What is its focus? Its focus is to effectively monitor qualitative reforms or strategic initiatives by the higher educational institutions of the country that are supporting the implementation of NEP 2020. And under UTSA, what the higher educational institutions have to do, they have to log in to this portal and they have to furnish information on the various activities that comes under the umbrella of the thrust areas of focus that include the multidisciplinary and holistic education, that is adopting academic bank of credits, multiple entry and exits, multidisciplinary disciplines, then the digital empowerment and online education, skill development and employability, research, innovation, entrepreneurship, promotion of Indian languages, internationalization of education. So these are the various parameters. These are the various thrust areas of focus where we have to focus under NEP 2020, and the higher educational institutions of India, they have to log on this portal every month, and they have to update that what they did in the last month. So from here we can compare what the educational institutions of India are doing, and with this, when everyone has to focus on these skills, so automatically we will implement this NEP 2020 in a better way. Next is the adoption of technology. Now the government of India is focusing on adopting technology in almost every domain. And this NEP 2020, it also emphasizes on the adoption of technology and presents an enormous opportunity to transform the education sector. The first thing which, when the government focused on this, the word digital, the word comes Digital India. And the goal was to transform the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. The pillars of Digital India, they were the broadband highways, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access program, e-governance, e-Kranti, information for all, electronic manufacturing, IT for jobs. And under Digital India, that is, we focus on the e-websites, we focus on the apps like Google Pay, we focus on Paytm. These are all the payment gateways. And after this campaign of Digital India, the people of India, they are now, they are doing the transactions through the online mode. So, and number of other things like the government is focusing on the public internet access, e-governance, information for all, e-office. That is, we don't have to go to the offices. Everything we can access the information by sitting at our homes through the internet. So technology is an effective way to promote a healthy educational system worldwide. And the most important role of technology in education is to make learning more accessible, more exciting, and more enjoyable. And it is possible with the technology. It is possible with when we involve the technology in education. The development of technological advancements in education leads to the knowledge as well as skills of students. Now, the emerging technologies are like artificial intelligence. We know everywhere we hear about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is used in agriculture. It is used in healthcare. It is used in industry. It is used in education. Similarly, we talk about robotics, then Internet of Things, 3D printing, simulation, cybersecurity, blockchain, quantum computing, and lot many other emerging technologies. We are using these technologies for, for getting better results. Like if we talk about artificial intelligence, that is the machine's ability to perform the cognitive functions as humans do, like perceiving, learning, reasoning, or solving problems. And the goals of artificial intelligence is to reduce the amount of time needed to perform specific tasks, makes it easier for humans to interact with machines, improving the accuracy and speed of medical diagnosis, and number of other things. Or we can say everywhere artificial intelligence is used these days. And under artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, we have neural networks, we have deep learning. So there are various algorithms that comes under artificial intelligence. We use those algorithms, we use the computer hardware, we use the computer softwares for making the results better. And AI is booming these days because of three points, the three factors. And these three factors are, one is the hardware, second is the data, and third one is the algorithm. Hardware is that instead of using CPUs, we are now shifting towards GPUs, that is graphical processing units. And Google has its own kind of CPU, that is the TPU, for focusing on the images or focusing on the tensors. And this is one thing, that is the capacity of hardware is increased. It is increasing exponentially. And at the same time, if we talk about the data, so data is also exponentially increasing. If we talk about the WhatsApp, if we talk about the Facebook or other social networking sites, so actually we are generating data in an exponential way. If we are sending a message to someone else, so that is also the generation of data. So actually we are generating data, and this data is somewhere uploaded on the clouds, on the servers, and actually we have now the huge amount of data available. And the third thing is the algorithms that comes under machine learning, deep learning, or artificial intelligence. We use those algorithms, we use the data, available data, and with the availability of hardware, we use artificial intelligence, and by using artificial intelligence, we produce the number of good results. We are doing the research with the help of artificial intelligence, and almost in every field these days, artificial intelligence is, we are using artificial intelligence. So these are the various fields of artificial intelligence, like machine learning, that is the art of studying algorithms that learn from examples and experiences. Similarly, we have neural networks. Deep learning is a subfield of machine learning that is similar to the working of a brain, like brain is working. Similarly, the concept of deep learning, we have number of layers, input layers, we have output layer, we have the intermediate layers. Then we have the natural language processing, that is the interaction between the computers and the human languages. A number of other subfields of artificial intelligence, like pattern recognition, data mining, cognitive computing, genetic algorithms, expert systems, computer vision, speech recognition, robotics, and so on. These are the technologies, these are the subfields of artificial intelligence that we are using these days for getting the better results. Next is again one initiative of the Government of India under NEP 2020, that is the National Educational Technology Forum. The job is to provide a platform for free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, to enhance the assessment, planning, administration for both the school as well as higher education. Also to facilitate the decision making on the induction, deployment, and use of technology by using the latest knowledge as well as research. Also to articulate the new directions for research and innovation, and to maintain regular flow of authentic data. So these are the various initiatives, like to conduct multiple regional and national conferences, to lay down standards of content, technology, and pedagogy for online digital teaching learning. So this platform has to focus on the technology, that is how we can help the government, whether it is state government or central government. We have to help these agencies also for the technology-based interventions. That is how the technology can improve the education sector. And the other platform is the National Research Foundation, and its job is to strengthen the research ecosystem in the country. As I earlier told, that is, we have to strengthen our research ecosystem if we have to compete with the developed countries. This NRF, that is National Research Foundation, it envisages synergy between R&D, academia, and industry. It also promotes the use of regional languages in education, research, and skill development under NEP 2020. Second thing is, we have to develop and deploying the application-based research. Here we have to use the artificial intelligence for solving various international global challenges, like healthcare is a global challenge, agriculture, as well as climate change. So use of artificial intelligence for solving these problems is also the main goal of National Research Foundations. So like we have one side, we have the technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, augmented reality or virtual reality, simulation, or other technologies. And then we have National Educational Technology Forum, the platform. And the role of this platform is to categorize the emergent technologies based on their potential. And then we have the Ministry of Education that recommends the National Research Foundation to take up further research on the identified areas. Next is the technological intervention. So with the intervention of technology, what is the goal? That is, we can improve the teaching, learning, and evaluation processes. We have to aid professional development. we have to enhance the educational access, or to streamline the educational planning, management, administration, etc. Next is we have various digital education initiatives for learning, for ensuring the equitable use of technology. And first thing that comes here, that is the open educational resources. What are these open educational resources? These are the teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium that reside in the public domain or have been released under some open license that permits no cost access, use, adaptation, and redistribution by others with no or limited restrictions. Other things come under that is the open source softwares, open access, and open data, and they are freely accessible, openly licensed texts, that is we can use them freely, and other digital assets that are useful for teaching purpose, learning purpose, and for accessing as well as for the research purpose. So what comes under OER, that is the activities and labs, interactive text, assessments, lecture notes, audio lectures, case studies, readings, discussion forums, simulations, and number of other things, video lectures, images, that is all comes under open educational resources. Why we require open educational resources? There are a number of reasons. That is the textbooks and learning material, they cost, they have the students have to pay for the textbooks and the learning materials. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education, 7 in 10 students, they don't purchase a textbook because of its expensiveness. 1 in 5 college students has skipped or deferred a class due to the price of the required learning resources. And 60% of students have delayed purchasing textbooks until they have received their financial aid. So there are a number of reasons. That is why we are shifting towards open educational resources. And with this, we can easily get the material regarding to our, as per our subject. The various advantages of using open educational resources are the expanded access to learning, scalability, augmentation of class material, quick circulation. We can quickly circulate the open access material with others, enhancement of regular course content. We can ties with alumni or showcasing of innovation and talent. Various initiatives have been taken under this term, that is open educational resources, like MIT's Open Courseware. This is MIT's Open Courseware. It is an initiative of the MIT to publish all of the educational materials from its undergraduate to graduate level courses online, freely and openly available to anyone. Similarly, we have OER, Asia, that is the Commonwealth of Learning, Open Educational Resources. Similarly, there is OER, Africa, Open Universities, Open Learn. We have JISC, JORUM, Open Washington, Khan Academy. It is a non-profit educational organization with the goal of creating a setup of online tools that help educate students. We have various free and open source softwares as well, like WordPress. So WordPress is what? It is an alternative to Dreamweaver or hand-coded web design. If we have to work on the websites, so we can work on WordPress. Similarly, Audacity, alternative to Adobe Audition or WebLab. OpenOffice.org is alternative to Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. GIMP, it is an alternative to Adobe Photoshop. Ubuntu, it is an alternative to our Microsoft Windows or Apple. VLC Media Player, this is alternative to MS Media Player. Notepad++, alternative to Notepad or Dreamweaver. So we have various free and open source softwares. We can use these softwares without paying anything, and these are easily accessible, and we can download these open source softwares for our use. Similarly, we have open access research, that is DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journals. It is a website that hosts a community curated list of open access journals. We can access the journals from this portal. Various initiatives have been taken by the government of India also, like National Digital Library. Similarly, we have NROER, that is a National Repository of Open Educational Resources, initiative taken by Department of School Educational Literacy. So number of repositories related to number of educational resources material is available here. For example, here we are getting the material of science, chemistry, small intestine, and proportional reasoning, linear equations. So students can access these portals that are the initiative of the Government of India to learn through the digital mode. We have the e-Pathshala. You can access ebooks from classes 1 to 12th from here. We have a website and mobile application also. So all of these are the initiatives of the Government of India. So there are various quiz competitions on e-Pathshala. Then we know we have the Shodh Ganga. It is a reservoir of Indian theses. There are various theses available on Shodh Ganga. We can access these theses from this portal. Next is we have Project OSCAR, that is an open source courseware animations repository. Similarly, we have open educational resources for schools, Home Baba, science education, NPTEL, that is National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, which is an initiative by 7 Indian Institutes of Technology. We have National Institute of Open Schooling. The goal is to provide education to all segments of society. Pratham Books initiative is there. Story Weaver, Sakshat, Test India, Force India. It is a free open source software project that promotes the use of free open source software tools in academia as well as research. We have SFIAM, that is very common these days. And now even in PG courses, the students have to opt one course from SFIAM. So it is again an initiative of Government of India that is designed to achieve the 3 cardinal principles of education policy, that are access, equity, and quality. The objective of this effort is to take the best teaching learning resources for everyone. So now students are opting one open elective from the SWIM portal. So they have the various benefits like best in class instructors, proctored exams, active local chapters, weekly assignments, easy credit transfer, systematic approach. Next is the concept of virtual labs. So virtual lab, the concept is to provide the remote access to simulation-based labs in various disciplines of science and engineering. So these are the websites which are written on this slide, and we can open these websites and we can use these virtual labs from our system to emphasize students to conduct experiments by arousing their curiosity. We can access these platforms. We can go for the experiments. These provides a complete LMS around the virtual labs where the student's teacher can avail the various tools for learning, including web resources, video lectures, animated demonstrations, and self-evaluation. So this is a sample of virtual lab. Suppose there is a segment in Python and we just have to add 2 numbers. So we have 2 numbers, A that has value of 20 and B that has value of 30. We just have to add 2 numbers. So for that, here we can use this virtually. This is the code segment that we have the variables A, B, and sum. We have to assign a value A to A, value of 22, the variable A, similarly value of 32, variable B. Then we load these values to registers, and then we have to sum. So here we can see that is how data segment, stack segment, or heap segment, how they can work. We can learn the things in in a detailed manner. So that is a good thing for the students of school education as well as for the students of higher education as well. Similarly, for cybersecurity, we have this website where you can learn about cybersecurity, and government is at present focuses on the cybersecurity, because one side government is focuses on digital India, one side government is focuses on the online transactions, and at the same times there is a need to impart knowledge to the people regarding the cybersecurity. That is, if we receive an OTP, so OTP is not for sharing, OTP is just for completing a transaction and not to share with anyone. So number of training programs, number of workshops, number of seminars are being conducted in the higher educational institutions for the knowledge of cybersecurity for students as well as for their parents. Next is website, a portal, that is a portal of Government of India, that is the open government data platform that is data.gov.in. So it is a platform for supporting open data initiative of Government of India. So here the government is focusing to upload the data on a single platform, and the researchers, the academicians, and even industrialists, they can use this data for the better results. These days, when we talk about the artificial intelligence, when we talk about the machine learning, when we talk about the deep learning, so three things which we require, these three things are: one is no doubt the technology, or we can say the algorithms that come under that technology. Number two is the hardware. As I earlier said, that is, we are shifting from the CPU, that is central processing unit, to GPU, graphical processing unit, to TPU. And this is the betterment in the hardware. And the third thing which is required, the most important thing, is the data. So the government is focusing to generate data so that researchers can use this data for getting the better results, for doing the research purpose. And while doing the research purpose using this data, we will get the results that can be shared on a public platform. Or even the Government of India is now focusing on startups, and under this budget 2023, again, the focus is to generate the data all over the India, so that the startup companies or the industries, they can use that data for the better results. There are other data repositories also for researchers, like Kaggle is there. So if suppose I have to work on some data, suppose I have to work on diabetes data. So what I can do, I suppose I don't have data, I have algorithms, I have the hardware, but I don't have the data. So in that case, I can go to this portal, that is Kaggle or UCI or other. There are a number of other websites where the data is uploaded. People have uploaded their data. So I can download the secondary data from these portals, and then I can easily do the experiments. Or suppose I have downloaded the data from, or I have collected the data from some, suppose, hospitals, and I have make my primary data. Even then I can upload the same data on these data repositories, so that my data can be used by the other researchers. So these are the various data repositories. HMIS portal, that is again an initiative of Government of India, Health Management Information System. So data regarding to the health, whether it is maternal health, it is child immunization, adolescent age, the number of parameters are there, and this type of data is already uploaded on the Health Management Information System portal of Government of India. Next is the opportunities. So here we have to enable the flexible learning under NEP 2020. That is, technology can enable the flexible learning opportunities. Self-paced learning, micro-learning are available. Various online courses are available. Leveraging AI and analytics, the use of artificial intelligence and analytics, it provides insights into student learning patterns. This technology can promote the collaborative learning also. These days, researchers are collaborating with other researchers from other countries. Suppose I am working in India, and through the digital platform, I can interact with researchers from other country. We can work on a same problem. We can publish research papers in a collaborative manner. So we can do this with the help of technology. Similarly, we are developing the digital literacy. We are also encouraging entrepreneurship, and for that technology is required, enhancing research and innovation. Similarly, facilitating lifelong learning skills. Multimodal learning with the help of technology, like we have the content in the audio form, video form, interactive media. Customization. So technology can enable personalized learning experience. If I am interested in only a particular language, so I can customize my course. Collaborative efforts are there. Virtual laboratories and simulations, as I have earlier told. We can access education, sustainable education. So these are the various opportunities when we talk about the technology. Next, I will share a few slides regarding the educational budget of 2023, because here also government has focused on the technology, and this is the first budget of Atmanirbhar Bharat. or we can say this is the first budget when the government is, focusing on the technology. That is, we have to focus on the technology in education also. So the union budget that came in the last month, so there were a number of measures in the education sector to give a boost to this crucial area of importance. What are the major announcements? I'm talking about this, the education as well as the focus on the technology. So one major announcement is to set up 3 centers of excellence for artificial intelligence. So at one side, we are talking about the technology, and our government is also focusing on the technology, like they are going to set up 3 centers of for artificial intelligence at some top educational institutions. At the same time, the focus is to establish 100 laboratories in engineering institutions for developing applications using 5G technology. And this will provide a fillip to employment, startups as well, businesses, and promote innovation and entrepreneurship in the engineering field. These labs would cover, among other applications, like smart classrooms, precision farming, intelligent transport systems, and healthcare. And by using these measures, by these 2 things, one is the setting up of the 3 centers of excellence for artificial intelligence, and at the other end, establishment of 100 laboratories using 5G technology, they will go a long way in unleashing the digital potential of the country. Second important thing is the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0, which focuses on, which will be launched to skill lakhs of youth. So here we talk about the skills. That is, now for the youth to learn skills is very important. So the government is provide stipend support to 4.7 million youth in the next 3 years. And under this scheme, now government also knows that is, we have to focus on the technology. And under technology, we have to focus on the coding, we have to focus on the Internet of Things, we have to focus on the drones, 3D printing, robotics, etc. And all these things come under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0. And now the training has been given in these technology skills. So to skill the youth of India for the international opportunities, 30 Skill India International Centers will also be set up across different states. Now we'll talk about the international opportunities. When we talk about the international opportunities, so it means that we have to open the international level of centers for learning these skills. So when we open these international level of skill centers, so definitely the youth of the country, the youth of the nation will learn these skills, and definitely he or she will compete with at the international level. Next is the central government will also formulate a national data governance policy to enable access to anonymized data for innovation and research. So this is also a good thing that the government is understanding to generate more and more data, so that the researchers and academicians can work on that data. While working on the data, we have to extract the knowledge from that data. Or in other words, we can say the discovery of knowledge from the data. What is the trend in the data? That is, we can forecast the data. We can apply the supervised, unsupervised learning techniques on the data for extracting the knowledge. And artificial intelligence, machine learning, or these technologies focus on the data. So the government is also focusing on the data to generate more and more data, so that the startups as well as the researchers, academicians, they can use this data, they can access these data for working on that data for discovering the knowledge. So that will allow them to utilize the potential of artificial intelligence to also boost the economic development. And we know that there is a great potential in the artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms that can also be used for ameliorating the economy of the country. The government is not only focuses on the education only, government is focuses on the economy of the country, and government knows if the youth is on the right direction, so definitely the economy will automatically raise. Other things are the government is continuously pushing efforts for digitalization in the country, like Digital India, and it highlighted by the fact that a national digital library for children and adolescents is also proposed to allow children to access device agnostic reading material. Apart from that, the union government also encouraged states to open up physical libraries as at panchayat and ward levels. So this is a new idea to open the libraries for students so that they can utilize those libraries in their wards or in their panchayats. And the National Book Trust, Children's Book Trust, and other sources, they will also bring in books in both English and regional languages at these physical libraries at panchayat level and wards level, and also collaborate with the NGOs for the same. Financial sector regulators will also be requested to pitch in with age-appropriate reading material on financial literacy. So again, focus is on the financial literacy. So the students, this is again a skill, they can read the material regarding the finance, regarding the financial literacy. In addition to that, the government will recruit 38,800 teachers and supporting staff for the 740 Club A model residential schools, serving 350,000 tribal students over the next 3 years. The plan to boost Club A schools is also in synchronization with the government's aim to improve the social economic conditions of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So this group will allocate 15,000 crores to help the development of facilities like safe housing, clean drinking water, sanitization, improved access to education, health and nutrition. So when we talk about the overall growth of the country, so definitely we have to focus on the vulnerable sections of the society as well. Education is not only for rich, education is not only for rich, education is for the everyone. So when we talk about everyone, so it also comes the vulnerable sections. And definitely in 2020, when we are talking about the goals of school education as well as higher education, that is by 2025 and 2030, 100% students, 100% children, they have to come to the school for education. So we have to focus on these things also. Another noteworthy announcement in budget is the digitization of 1 lakh ancient inscriptions. So this initiative of digitization of 1 lakh ancient inscriptions, it will help the researchers, it will help the academicians to preserve and enrich our rich civilization and heritage, and also enable the coming generations to feel proud of our rich past. So these type of things, these type of announcements were there in the educational budget of 2023 when we talk about our ancient inscriptions, the digitization of those ancient inscriptions. So definitely that will help the researchers to know about our civilization and heritage, as well as the district institutes of education that will be developed as vibrant institutes of excellence, and they will provide the training to the teachers as well through the innovative pedagogy curriculum transactions. As I earlier told that there were various announcements under NEP 2020 and even in the latest budget of this 2023, but at the same time, training to that level is also required for the teachers so that they can, implement those things in a well manner. And government is trying to transform India into a knowledge-based economy. And that is clear from the statement of our Union Minister of Education, Shri Dharmender Pradhanji, wherein he has stated that the education sector has been given the highest ever allocation. So in this budget, there is a budgetary allocation of rupees 1.12 lakh crore, which was previously 1.04 lakh crore in the last year. So there is an increase of 8.2% from the previous year. Now, the second thing is at present, we have 3.1% of GDP for the education, and Indian GDP is only $3.5 trillion, whereas US spends more than 6% of their GDP on education, and the GDP of US is very, large than the GDP of India. It is 20. They have $23 trillion GDP. Under NEP 2020, the goal is to use the GDP of 6% for the education, but till now we have only 3.1% of GDP. Maybe in the next 1-2 years we will get the GDP of 6% for the education field, because if we go to far-flung areas, even the schools are not connected to the internet. The institutions they don't have even the computer labs. They don't know the technology. So for raising that, we have to increase the GDP, and the target of NEP 2020 is to raise the GDP up to 6%. US already spends 6% of GDP for education. So I think we also have to raise more GDP for this sector, that is the education sector. So challenges are also there to, we have, when we are saying that we are in the transition of implementing NEP 2020 from the previous way to the new way. So we have to, there is a need to work more and more for this implementation. We have to enhance the assessment. We have to enhance the learning outcomes. Infrastructure and connectivity is required. If there is a village that is 100 kilometers far from a city, so how we can raise the infrastructure, or how we can connect those institutions with the technology, that is still a challenge in front of the government. The widening access of the quality education, the same case geographical locations, similarly innovating pedagogy, or faculty development, how we have to integrate the technology into the teaching and learning practices, and the cost. The main factor is the implementing technology for the education institutions require significant investment, and ensuring its sustainability is a challenge. So no doubt there are various challenges also when we are in a transition from one thing to the another thing. But if we have a good willpower, if we are focusing on the positive things, so nothing is impossible for the country like India. There are the AI agents like recently in the news, like ChatGPT or GitHub, or a black box that can generate code or text by themselves. So ChatGPT, it is an AI-driven text-to-speech platform that is capable of writing prose, essays, poetry, books, and even computer code without any human intervention. And number of news were there where various universities, colleges, they blocked these websites so that students can't use these websites for creating their assignments or creating the programming codes. So at one side, this is a positive thing. This is a good thing. That is, the technology is working in a positive direction. We are learning new things in the technology. But at the other end, we should know that is how we have to use the technology. We must have the ethics while using the technology as well. So implementation, or we can say the ethics in the students in this age of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT is also very important. So we must know how we have to effectively utilize the technology, because if technology has the positive sides, at the same end, technology also have the negative sides. So we have to choose the positive sides only. We have to be very ethical, and the same thing we have to teach our students also, that is to work in an honest way, to work ethically, so that we can grow the youth of our country. Next is the G20 presidency, and the people like Bill Gates. Everyone knows who Bill Gates is. Bill Gates says that it is an interesting year for the country India, because with India, we have G20 presidency this year, and this is the time when we can highlight the things like Aadhaar system and digital finance, and this showcase how digital public goods work and show how that's helping in India. He said that it helped a lot during the pandemic. So during the pandemic time, because before pandemic, the government focused on the digital India, government focused on the digital finance or the Aadhaar system. And we know we are the largest population country. And to implement the things in such a huge country is not so easy. To reach to everyone, to reach to the last is not so very easy. So for that, I praise the government that is they are implementing, or they are taking various initiatives regarding the digitalization or regarding the technology. So there are at the end, the conclusion is the NEP 2020, no doubt it is a positive initiative and direction for integrating the Indian education sector with the globe. But no doubt the implementation needs to be accelerated, and the support of teachers as well as students is also required. It is not only the government that brings a policy, but who has to implement the policy. So the policy implementation can be done only by the teachers, can be done only by the institutions. And for that, we need the great leaders in the institutions. We need the bold leaders in the institutions who have guts to take the decisions for, for implementing these plans, for implementing the new things. Technological and professional education need to be made hassle-free, accessible to the individuals, keeping in view the global benchmark. So if we compare our country with at the global level, so this technological and professional education, that should be hassle-free. And at the same time, when we talk about the far-flung areas, we have to think for that, how they people can also use the technology. To work in high-tech environment that needs quality education and research skills, without which it may be difficult to obtain the tag of the leading global economic power. So goal for the country is, goal for India is to become the global economic power in the near future. The teachers and instructors are required to be exposed to continuing education for sharpening their education delivery and research skills. And ancient Mimamsa philosophy of India that states that knowledge without action is meaningless. That is, if we have knowledge, but we are not taking any action, so that knowledge does not mean any sense. That is a meaningless knowledge. So thus, the implementation of highly innovative programs, the highly innovative plans that comes under NEP 2020, that shall enable the true education. And for the implementation of these plans, for the implementation of these programs, I said that we need the great leaders, we need the guts in the leaders, we need the people who can take decisions for for the implementation. And at the same time, when government is taking the initiatives, so we also have to work with them, so that at grassroots level these plans shall be executed in a better way. So these are the various websites that are related to the education, like india.gov.in, that is the website related to the data, AICT, NCS, FIAM, UGC, SIH, and other websites that are easily, freely accessible. And if students can utilize these websites, these virtual labs websites, so students can learn more and more things from these websites. So now we can say with the online platforms, with the digital platforms, education is freely accessible, or we can while sitting at our homes, we can access the information from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the globe. So these are the various initiatives of the government of India, as well as the NEP 2020. This is a new policy that comes after 30 years. where the government is focuses on the technology. If you compare NEP 2020 and the educational budget of this year, that is 2023 Atmanirbhar Bharat budget, so maximum things, the number of things are, they are the government is focuses on the technology. That is how technology can help the students, how technology can help the institutions, or how technology can help the country to raise the economy. Government is also focuses on the entrepreneurship. Government is also focuses on the startups. Why it focuses on the startups? Why it focuses on the entrepreneurship? Because it is not possible for the government to provide the government jobs to everyone. So government is focusing on the skills. Government focuses on the students to learn new skills, so that the students can learn new skills, student can earn money by their own, and they offer the jobs to other people. This is actually the, I think, job of the this is actually the aim of the government of India. So that's all about from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Saurabh, for that very wonderful session. So insightful, so informative, and that diversity of information that you have delivered in this lecture, ranging from role of technology and different e-portals available. I mean, definitely, I believe most of the participants will agree with me on this.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. The sir has covered each and every aspect of the information technology and computer sciences in every aspect of the NEP.
The session is now open for queries. If any participant they wish to share anything or ask anything to our eminent speaker, then you're free to do so. Meanwhile, I also request Surbhi ma'am to kindly acknowledge sir's efforts that he has taken in, delivering this lecture, and thank him on behalf of the entire department and family of School of Life Sciences.
So right now on this platform, it's my duty to pay my sincere thanks to Dr. Saurabh Shastri on the behalf of the whole organizing committee of this 1 week FDP program. And as on today, we are at the 4th day of this FDP program, and we have attended the first session of day 4 today. I must say that the PPT presentation, which has been prepared by Dr. Saurabh Shastri, that was very, very nice. And I think with all the content which sir has delivered today, all the content was very clear, very remarkable with all those PPTs. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us at this platform. And thank you so much with the bottom of my heart. We would also like to invite you for the future sessions also. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you for inviting.
The session was very informative, and we got many more things which was untouched during this FDP right now. But we can say that this is the FDP in which the resource persons are belonging from the different streams, and IT and computer sector is one of those major streams, because after the COVID time, we all are going by the online modes, also offline modes and online modes both. So this is a very informative session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. You know, in the limited time that I could touch the net and soil programs, but you know, hearing you speak, I mean, even I learned a lot today. There are so many different portals that were left untouched during my presentation.
Hello.
Hello. I think there is Vatsala, your mic is muted by chance.
Right now it's okay, sir. It's okay,
Yes,
sir. Right now it's okay.
it's okay.
We have Dr. Milind also from
Thank you,
Systems
Dr.
University right now. Sir?
Dr. Milind, if you're there, if you could, you know, thing on our behalf today on behalf of IIMT.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was wonderful session, though I could not join on a regular basis because I am getting busy in that. But in the meanwhile, whenever I get time, I always try to join the session. And you know, the tail end I had what I'm trying to get once again, and all the amazing speakers who are delivering our wonderful, informative lectures. So thank you so much once again for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Milind.
Saurabh. And I also thank Honorable Dean, School of Life Sciences, Dr. Navneet, for being so supportive in, you know, supporting Department of Botany in carrying out such activities. And we would also, you know, request such support and guidance in future also. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this.
So we will be joining at what time? Next 11:30?
And 25:30, we will proceed with the second session for the day. We have another great speaker joining us, a resource person of great intellect and great experience. So thank you, everyone, and we will meet again in half an hour.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.